Hello everybody, Mr. Moo here in the cockpit, here in Elite Dangerous, here in deep space, and Happy New Year everybody! First stream since New Year's Eve. Wanted to make that into more of a marathon, but I really need to work up to a marathon. Oh, between being sick and, about 5 minutes after I went off the air, I ended up sounding like the Christopher Nolan Batman. Where are the drugs? Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. I've recovered though. I've recovered from New Year's Eve in more ways than one. And we're back out here. Niao is still a little bit behind me in the nebula, but she's actually at work today. Well, I guess technically I'm at work too right now, but my work allows me to do this. Hope everybody had a good New Year's Eve. Hope everybody had a good New Year's period. It's 2018. Thank Jeebus 2017 is over. Here's to hoping this year's a little bit better. It's certainly going to have a lot more 8s in it. Say that. Call-outs here. So thank you so much to, let's see here, Inside a Tall, Salty 601, and Third Count of 6. Thank you all for following. Welcome to the crew. Hope you enjoy your stay. Oh, where are we? Galaxy map.
Displaying map.
Oh yeah, we're a ways off here. I think that's the sidereal wall. And this is the near 3 kiloparsec arm, and we are right there on the edge of it. Oh, time flies when you have fun. Set to 1.
All power to engines.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep, we are near the core regions. When you see a starfield like this, you know you are far from Kansas. Actually, far from Japan, far from Iceland, far from everywhere. I got a Hank at my feet, I got a Yuki at my side, I've got an Alex in my computer. All is right with the world. Let's ride.
Preparing for jump. Frameshift now engaged. Confirming exit point telemetry. Stand by.
And we got a neutron
System
star.
scan for cartography.
System map.
System cartography.
Got an unexplored neutron. Neat. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
So, second jump of the day, and we've already got a 230-some light-year super neutron jump.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Get out of the vortex, get aimed, and hit the big red button. Hardcore, hey, 07 to you too, Commander. Happy New Year. How are you doing?
Fuel scoping.
Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Eormscrewa. I'd give the Viper Mark IV a shot last night after we chatted. You, come to any conclusions on it? Oh, good. It's not as maneuverable as a Viper 3, but it's tanky and it's got legs.
Fuel scooping.
Mark III has speed and a little bit of maneuverability advantage, but it's a little bit more fragile, and the power plant on it is a little weaker, if I remember right. You need the safety blanket of the shields, yeah. And Viper 4s have those. They are a tough nut to crack unless you're really equipped for it.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
So a few things here, but nothing really exciting. Hank. He's curled up into a ball of cold cat and he's looking at me kind of angry because I haven't turned the heat on yet. Mad, hey, how you doing? Happy New Year? Ow. Twitch. Snap. Crackle. Pop. Stuff that my microphone isn't picking up, and that's probably for the good. For the best. Today is not a joint quest. Niao's off at work, so, you know, off at real world work, and I get to stick around and play here.
Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System cartography.
You want rings? We got rings. You want Earth likes? We got rings. Yeah, seems decent there, hardcore. You can melt and punch through stuff there. Jealous? What are you... Why for would a mad biker wolf be jealous? Going back to college again? Well, good luck, congratulations at the same time. It ain't easy, or, well...
Fuel scooping.
Not always easy, but it can be done. Lord knows I know. Let's see here. Hydrogen in any flavor you want as long as it's fusing. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Fuel scooping complete.
I took a Linux course once upon a time. Everybody just got really mad at me and told me to look it up on the wiki. I see.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
Fuel scooping complete.
That is very, very close to the primary star. What do we got here? 7 light seconds. This planet's going to have some interesting stats on it. System map.
System cartography.
High metal content, right. Who are you anyway? You're class K. Okay. I guess not as horrible as I thought it would be. Not the hell world I thought. No atmosphere. 1300 Kelvin at the surface, 1.47 G with rock vapor geysers. Alright, not as horrible as I thought. Yeah, 1300K ain't that bad for 7 light seconds from a star. To be honest, I thought we were going to end up with something really, really... something really fantastic and, Then again, lethal is lethal. Resume course?
Selecting next system en route.
I wouldn't want to be on it with a spacesuit or without a spacesuit either way, so... Aw. Yes, Hank, I love you too, buddy. But I need to go fly the ship now. System map.
System map.
Yeah. Ice, rock,
Fuel scooping
and
complete.
not a whole lot else. Yeah, and also in orbit of a G-class star. This is a K-class, so a little bit colder, but smaller. Ah, shoot, I should have checked the orbital eccentricity on it. Oh well. Wonder if it was in a really super elliptical orbit. Probably not at that range, though. 7 light seconds, it's pretty close. Any real eccentricity and you're gonna burn up. System map. You see?
System map.
It's not easy. Passenger didn't tell me they were wanted. Well, crap. Then you get the free laser light show.
Fuel scooping.
Resume course?
Locking next star system.
Yeah, next thing you know, you're flying laser zep, and you don't want to be flying laser zep.
Fuel scooping complete.
$48,000. Will it scan? Oh. Resume course.
System destination locked.
Dump the passenger and run. Oh. Oh, I've been tempted. I don't know that you can eject a passenger in flight, though. Only they can. You can You can cancel the contract. You can make him as mad as you want, but... Oh, yeah. I got kinda sorta lucky in that I was coming down on a planetary platform, so I was able to just point my nose at open sky and hit the boosters, and then that's when I flew to the black hole and he never saw anything ever again. Or sorry, no, the neutron star. Same thing happened to me a few times. Yeah. Yep, it says rich tourist, but then there's some fine print in there. Stupid fine print. Reading the messages from all the passengers afterward is funny. Space Yelp. Ship blew up, would not fly again.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Railgun round came through stateroom. 0 stars. At least it wasn't like that poor bastard in The Expanse during the Doniger battle. Anybody who's watched The Expanse knows what I'm talking about. Anybody who hasn't's like, huh? Well, there was a guy in the brig on a warship, and the warship managed to eat a railgun round.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Picky passengers. Man, where do you shop for? Where are you based out of? Let's see. System map. Some neat planets, but nothing really to write home about. Well, not too long ago it was they didn't even have the last star notice or the last scoopable star notice on the upper right. I mean, when you're jumping, you do get a last scoopable star warning. So there is that a little bit.
Fuel scooping.
But, yeah. Probably, I mean, would there be room in there somewhere? Could be.
Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System cartography.
You're big one, ain't ya? Yeah. Yeah, it's just that I usually scoop on everything so it doesn't throw up the warning. All you gotta do is take the font down to 1.5 and there's plenty of room, you know? You're not inaccurate.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
Yeah, I just don't see the warning a lot because I'm usually doing a high-speed scoop of the stars I'm going past, so I've got a full tank, so it doesn't feel the need to throw up the warning like, this is the last scoopable star for your current jump range and fuel load. Oh, reduce by 1.5 points, not down to 1.5 points. Well, you know, either way it really works. Yeah, when you got a scoop with a max rate of 43 kilograms per second. Yeah. Yep. 43 or 430.
Fuel scooping.
Oh my god. The Juicero guy, after finding out that people were onto him by using their hands,
Complete.
is now onto raw water. Well, he found enough he found venture capital for that silly Internet of Things juicer of his. Maybe he'll find have somebody to fleece for this.
Fuel scooping.
Yep, or but more succinctly with the P.T. Barnum principle, there's a sucker born every minute. System map.
System cartography.
Alright, and we are up to a neutron star next. Yorm Screwa. Sounds like the name of some kind of villain. Maybe a He-Man villain. No way, I said it first. You just didn't hear it at the time because of delay or something. System map.
System map.
Got an atmosphere. We've all got atmosphere. Actually, hardcore, that's not too bad. We'll be moving into a region you'll see a lot worse. Oh, stick around. Resume course. Resume course?
Selecting next destination.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive
Boost activated.
Alright, get clear of the jet. Yeah, millisecond pulsars are just, you know, hey, you want your video card to melt? Here you go. Yeah, Meow used to have a AMD, what'd she say? It was a Thunderbird, but I mean, this is back in the day. We used to call it the Firebird. Or the Phoenix. System map.
System cartography.
How about binary pulsars? Resume course.
System destination locked.
Let's see what the other one has. After we get a charge off of this one.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Last AMD I had was a K6-2. Trying to remember. 219,000 light seconds. Maybe we won't go visit that other one. Melted a literal hole through the laptop's MOBO. Ooh. Is your fan running? Yes, it's running for its life. Okay, answer to the first P4. Alright, so it's been a while. Just a wee bit of a while.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
Well, you're a complex system, but
Fuel scooping complete.
not a wonderful one. Well, that just means you got a water heater then. B-class star. This one's going to be a little on the big side and a little on the warm side.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
High metal
Fuel scooping
content.
complete.
Metal content. We're gonna get scans off the first 4 planets in this system, just for interesting stuff. Spawn, hello there! How are things? Well, I'm recovering from, poor preparation. Turns out when you want to do a marathon stream, you gotta kinda train your voice for that if you aren't used to talking for 8 hours straight, or more. I was talking for 8 hours straight, and I ended up sounding like the Nolan Batman afterwards. Fortunately, that was only a temporary thing. Well, thank you very much, the official wizard. Thank you. That That means a lot. I felt bad that I wasn't able to go the distance to New Year's, but... And no, I didn't find out where Rachel was. Did hear an explosion later that night, though, so... I suppose I can make a guess. I mean, there was the usual fireworks, legal and otherwise, going off around midnight, but then around 1:30 in the morning, there was a kaboom outside our door that shook the windows and, actually set off a few car alarms. Hank, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Hank? Hank? Yuki looks like she has a hangover, and Hank has just decided to walk over and go, "Hi, I want your bed." This is going to go well. No, this one sounded bigger than M80's. Okay, when I say outside the door, I should say it sounded like it was in the park next door. Hank? One moment. Alright, there we go. See your binary planets, here they are. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna look for. I'm locked onto the binary planets here. Once I get the scan on both of them, we'll go and have a look in the system map and find out what the hell is up with this system. No, I agree with you. A metal trash can give a wonderful resonance chamber for an M80, or so I've heard. You! I like you! I like the you think. People down the street setting off mortars, which are illegal, got fed up with it, took my PA speakers outside, and played a police siren. Very nice. Okay, let's find out what the hell we're dealing with here. Okay, here we got something. Oh, 2.58 G, 6100 Kelvin, 4.5 million atmospheres. The atmosphere is 98.5% rock and 1.5% iron, and yet there is still some ice on the surface. Probably because of the pressure and some kind of polar region magic. Okay, next one. Next one is 2.38 G, 4400 Kelvin, 38,259 atmospheres, 98.9% rock vapor, and 1.1% carbon dioxide. And this weird one, which is not landable, but has silicate vapor geysers. There you go. You can kind of see the surface lava now. .38 G, roughly 1100 Kelvin at the surface. And then you, which is landable. Silicate vapor geysers, but landable. And I imagine we'll find more here. More of the same in terms of rock and fire. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Let's see what other madness we can find. Very picturesque, but yeah, again, one of those places that nice to visit, but you'd hate to live there. Unless you had your own personal station. Come on, Frontier, get on that. Inflatable hab station something.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
Fuel scooping complete.
One high metal content, and the rest is rock and ice. Thank you, Dink. So, you know, that's a very good question, Spawn. I'm hoping so. It's, if not flyable, then you can at least, you know, point it to a star system that you want to go to and have it jump there and end up in orbit of whatever position you want it to take up. Yeah, I know what you mean, for lack of a better term. As far as I know, it's not... You aren't going to be able to fly it like you would here. I mean, it won't have a Super Cruise mode, most likely. But it should be something that, you know, like the current megaships, where, you know, you tell them where you want to be, and they'll jump there. Now, we may see a jump effect, or they may just do it on server downtime. I'm not sure which. System map.
System map.
Got surface temperature on this thing? Not yet. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Alright, we want to avoid that big yellow circle of gravitational doom.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Yeah, as far as I know, they're going to be, as you say, scootable. System map.
System cartography.
Alright, what's our data looking like here?
Warning. Frameshift drive operating
5.3 million Kelvin. So if there were any, well, landable planets or terraformable planets, any solid planets in this system, they might actually be terraformable. Terms and conditions may apply, you know, distance, etc. I don't know, I'd love to see what the interface is for the mega ships. You know, like the Gnosis that Cannon Research Group has. I'd love to see how they... how do they handle getting their ship from point A to point B? There's got to be something more streamlined, because I'm hazarding a guess that right now they have to ask Frontier. Maybe Frontier's figuring out a way to streamline the whole process. No, that's not just you. Let's, see if we can't get... There we go. Away from the primary star's glare, and yeah, we are... System map. Did I miss an Earth-like, or did... Nope, I missed nothing. Yeah. How far away? Next. And no, your eyes do not deceive you. Galaxy map. We're close to the core. We're actually above the core. Well, not above. We are out here. We are in the sidereal wall. We are just... Actually, we are just crossing the near 3 kiloparsec arm. Okay, good. Just wanted to double check there. And hello, Ryan. Happy New Year. So yeah, we're in this region now, which means... Yes, here we are. Galaxy map.
Galaxy map.
So we are heading for... Actually, we can change course right now. Here's all the Uncharted stuff. Oh yeah, the skybox is not just a static picture, and I suppose that counts as spoilers. There's the Galactic Rim, here's the Galactic Void. No, the skybox actually changes relative to the number of stars in your area. So when you get into the core regions, stellar density picks up a lot. And I'm not seeing a tenth of the stars I could be right here just because of the glow and glare off of the neutron star. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Warning, graveshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Yeah. The big, well,
Boost
big by a certain degree. But no, that the major galaxies, I think you can see Triangulum, Andromeda, and the Large and Small Magellanics. Here we go, first black hole of the trip. Aliens that, yeah, I've heard of them too, but then I heard they got kind of written out. There you are. You always want to zero your throttle because, I mean, here you can see I've actually under 3 minutes. This one's been discovered already. 2.8 solar masses. But as we throttle up, you can see the gravity lensing of the light there. And then space snaps back to its normal spacey look. I just want Kyle Katarn back. Yeah. Actually, Kyle Katarn, Karan Horn, which also means Booster Tarek. And Mara Jade's a given. Well, there's not much data you can get out of a black hole, just its diameter and its solar masses. But it still pays a lot when you turn it in because, well, navigational hazard and all that. System map.
System map.
Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Why do black holes pay so much? They seem kind of useless. Well, they're still massive navigational hazards, and maybe, well, scientific use and just whatever else. I mean, yeah, Einstein-Rosen bridges, some kind of wormhole. Which, in the older games, I think they did have something like a wormhole drive. They just don't have it now. Super Cruise just became, or the frameshift drive just became that much more efficient. System map.
System
Got another
cartography.
star in here. Oh, brown dwarf. More data on this thing? Nope, just the age, solar masses, solar radii, and surface temp, which the last two are not going to change too very much. You can see it starting to distort the galaxy, though. Let's go this way. Let's get it against the galactic disk there. Nothing to worry about from a black hole. Temperatures are good. Let's actually be able to see the scary ball of chaos. Well, there you go. Yeah, warp is very similar to Supercruise in Elite. Which tells you just how long a time it actually takes to go anywhere at warp in Star Trek. Body exclusion zone hit. This is as close as we can get to the black hole. But we're in real space and we've just nose-booped it. Boop. Oh yeah, you can hit the body exclusion zone on it where it's like... Whoop, and the galaxy snaps back to what it should be. And yeah, you can actually get as close as the game allows. The body exclusion zone, which is basically... no closer. Resume course? Oh, wait a minute, there's no course to resume. There's the Magellanic Clouds there. And you can see there's a lot of black holes right here in this area, actually. Tons of them. So we're about 1,600 light years above the galactic rim. Or the galactic disk. I gotta stop using those terms interchangeably. One means the edge and the other means the plane. But no, Spawn, if you go to Memory Alpha, the Star Trek wiki, there's a warp speed chart. And it actually makes me angry to look at just because of how the writers just didn't care at all. Black hole and a white dwarf star at... no, wait, neutron star, 200,000 light seconds. May as well get completeness here. And we can boost our jump for whatever reason we want to. But that's what a neutron star looks like at range. You don't see the jets until you get much closer. But yeah, the original warp speed chart and even the TNG warp speed chart were mapped out. It was basically your warp factor to the power of 3. That's the speed of light. So warp 1, well, 1 cubed is still 1, so you're doing the speed of light. Warp 2, 2 cubed is 8, 2 times 2 times 2. Warp 3, 27 times the speed of light. You know, it starts increasing very, very quickly. It made sense. TNG, they decided to make it 3.3 repeating, or 10 over 3. Until you get past warp 9, and then they took this nice, standard, you know, easy to read chart, and they just made a hand-drawn curve and said, hey, this is infinity after that, go knock yourself out. There was actually a writer's Bible for Voyager. I managed to glance at it one time, and it was basically Voyager has the ability to pull deuterium from stars using its ram scoop. If it has enough deuterium, it can actually sacrifice a large amount of it to create antimatter. Since stars are a pretty good supply of deuterium, you ought to be able to replenish Voyager's fuel stocks. Voyager should never be able to run out of power unless there are very extreme circumstances. 3 episodes into Season 1. What do? Well, we're trying to use the holodeck power generators to power the rest. What? Did you even read this book? So if it's like Super Cruise, you can see the Enterprise or whichever ship is used as a cruise liner with all those people on board. Not quite. I mean, they just didn't have any kind of... They just didn't have any faster than light system. But no, not a cruise liner. I mean, no more cruise liner than, say, like a, any other military ship. Just because there's a lot of people on board doesn't mean they're relaxing. Let's see, while we're flying out here, let's see if we can find any O-class stars just for fun. Doesn't look like it. This region's pretty sparse on that. What about Wolf-Rayets? Carbon stars. Gotta be something else around here. Plenty of B-class stars. Yeah, those are showing up like crazy. Oh, the stars in Elite are real-life distances away. And it would take this long. I mean, 176,000 light seconds, so we're running 300 and 400 C closing up on. Athador! Gotta get my eyes checked, or I need to wake up some more. Welcome, Lil Riven, hello there! Welcome back. So yeah, the stars in-game are to real-life distances. So you end up with this, like, let's see here. Warp 5 would be, what, 125 times the speed of light. And so we're closing in on... I don't know my cube tables well enough. Let's see. Do a quick calculation here. Yeah, we just passed Warp 8. 8 times 8 times 8 is 512. So, if I were to throttle back... somewhere around here, it would take... yeah. So right now I'm doing just under Warp 8. Under the old Star Trek scale. But you gotta remember, those ships have fuel that they just keep going and going and going. They, the ship doesn't take a break when the helmsman goes down below deck. They just get another helmsman in, so the ship is always in motion. But yeah, it takes forever to get anywhere in Star Trek. Fox, good afternoon, sir. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you, managed to weather the party decently. Oh, we had all kinds of stuff happen after I took off. Not necessarily good things either, just stuff. Much more massive ships as well. Well, actually, if you look at it, don't worry. But no, if, Trek Yards, they're a YouTube channel, they have some really good analysis on the ships out of Star Trek, obviously, with a lot of comparisons to other ships. But the original Enterprise, well, the original Connie class, Constitution class, I want to say was around 1,000 feet long, and I think about half of that length is actually just taken up by the warp nacelles. And had a crew of something like between 250 and 300, I want to say, depending on the configuration. So they were actually kind of small and kind of deceptive, I guess is a good word for it. I think the saucer was only 2 or 3 decks tall. Maybe 4 decks in the middle where it, kind of scooped up. Yeah, it all depends on the sci-fi universe. I want to say they just did an analysis on the Daedalus class from Stargate, and the side pods on the Daedalus are about the size of a Nimitz class carrier. The Daedalus is a big ship. I always thought they were much larger. It's deceptive. I mean, it also helped or hurt your perception of the ship size in the original Star Trek because... that's what happened. Okay, I was wondering what you meant there, but... Yeah, the original Connies, they had so few windows because the designer, the real-life designer, thought nobody's going to want to spacewalk for anything. It's way too dangerous. So let's make everything accessible from the inside, which meant there weren't a whole lot of windows because it was all taken up by access space. So everything, the hull features on a Constitution class ship, at least in the original series, it was very flat. It was very, there weren't a lot of lines, there weren't a lot of things to get scale off of, other than maybe the bridge dome and a few windows here and there. But we never knew the scale on the windows, so... I mean, on a Galaxy-class ship, most of the windows are something like 2.5 meters tall. So if you see a picture of the Galaxy, and you see the windows, you can tell, oh, okay, that's a 2-meter section of hull right there. That's why they made the ships in Star Wars. They added added more than a few surface details, because then it gives you some kind of sense of reference. Hey, you can see a window, or you can see a gun and think, okay, so that must be a pretty big gun. Imagine a person standing next to it. It's not an exact sense of scale, but it gives you a little bit more. Basically, the idea is the bigger the object. If everything has surface details, like the Falcon has a bunch of, they call them greeblies. A really rough surface on the hull of the ship, you can kind of make out parts, you can make out, okay, here's the cockpit windows, so that's how big a person must be, so here's how big this must be compared to a person. Then you can scale that up for a Star Destroyer. And then when you get to something like the first Death Star, everything looks really smooth. So your eye and your brain think, okay, that must be really, really big if everything is covered by that same amount of surface detail as the Falcon. It's a way to get an idea on surface detail and size without having to really start naming off, facts and figures. Windows in spaceships makes me think of what Legion said during Mass Effect 2. Unnecessary weak spots. True, though it depends on the it depends on what it's made out of. Some ships, I think, in some sci-fi universes, it's actually that the windows are that much tougher than the hull. But it's way more expensive, so they actually settle for hull instead of glass. That, and it would probably drive everybody mad to have a totally clear exterior surface. Alright, coming up on 300 light seconds, and we are starting to be able to make out the jets on this neutron star. And I don't know why I'm doing this, I'm just a completionist with a little bit of conversation here. I want both objects in this system scanned. Oh, and nope, it is not a neutron, it's a white dwarf. I'm not worrying with that thing at all. Yeah, I said that for some sci-fi universes. Some. Obviously, Falcon DeLacy and Lakon aren't part of that universe. Yeah, well, actually, technically, the windows may be stronger, but when everybody starts pounding on it, that's going to be the first thing that breaks. And yeah, I don't know, I mean... In modern warships, the bridge is actually pretty high up in the superstructure as well, so I think it could just be a holdover from that. I kind of liked, I mean, there are a lot of things that I didn't like about Andromeda, especially in the later seasons, which is to say anything after 2. But I did like their idea for, you know, just, here's the command center. It is in the very core of the ship. It's your distance. Your Class M star. 4,000 light seconds. Alright. A little cluster there. So we'll zip out to 4,000 light seconds and fuel up on this star. Then we'll come back and have another close approach on that black hole. But no, Andromeda actually covered a lot of stuff that wasn't exactly covered in Star Trek. That, you know, here, we've actually got a 100-kilogram missile. It's just a chunk of depleted uranium or iron or something else on top of a very, very high impulse engine, which gets it up to something like 0.9 the speed of light. Oh, that was... It sounds like you made it out, though. You managed to get into reverse and get the hell out of Dodge before things went all laser zep on you. It was close. Oh, yeah, I mean, if you're out on a long-distance contract and you just jump, 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 you forget, oh yeah, I've actually got to request docking in certain places. But going back to ship speed in Star Trek, I mean, here's another thing. You don't actually use warp drive in systems unless you're leaving the system. Because there's too much gas and dust and whatever. You run the risk of eroding the hull even with the navigational deflector, which is something they have to throw that stuff out of the way. So, in Star Trek 2, there's a scene, if you've seen The Wrath of Khan, where the Reliant is coming into another system, and they're looking for a lifeless world to test the Genesis device on. And they get to SETI Alpha 6, or whatever they think. I think they said they were looking for 6. And Chekhov is just almost crying. He says, does it have to be completely lifeless? Because if you think about it, they had to jump into system, and they're going at warp, so they're just running on supercruise between stars. And then they have to drop down to something like... Dean O'Brien, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the crew. Hope you enjoy your stay. So yeah, they have to approach a star system on supercruise. Alright, getting scoop here. And then as soon as they come in system, they have to drop down to half the speed of light, or 1/4 the speed of light, in order to, you know, go from planet to planet. So they're doing 0.25 to 0.5 C, somewhere around there. Ugh. And just searching day after day, and their job was to go to all the lifeless systems, all the stuff that I look at and go, nope. They had to scan all the systems within the star's Goldilocks zone. I mean, that's the kind of duty that would just drive a person insane. Said they were doing that for something like 3 months straight. So they aren't even getting the really glorious, the really, you know, well, not even glorious, but they aren't making any interesting discoveries. They're just out there mapping heaps of sand. Yeah, they've got a few systems on board to help people give the passage of time. They will dim the lights in the evening shift. They'll turn the lights up for day shift. They'll dim them down for evening shift. There's, you know, not everybody is on duty all the time. Everybody's running at something like a, I think it's, they run 4 shifts on the ship. 4 6-hour shifts. Yuki, why are you crying, little miss? Yeah, they run something like 4 6-hour shifts, and so you take 1 shift on, then you got 3 shifts off. And use 1 or 2 of those for sleep, 1 of them for, you know... You fill out paperwork too, but it's basically you're at your station for 6 hours, then you do a little bit of paperwork, and then you got your downtime. Alright, back on approach to the system primary here. We've got a black hole. I'm angling it so we get to see that thing against the backdrop of the galactic disk here. And you can already start to see the gravitational, the gravity lensing of the light. There we go. Starting to see it kind of bend the disc a little bit. And yeah, I did this earlier, but for those new to the stream, for those that popped in later, here's what a black hole looks like at range in Elite. And it's actually going to pass in front of that cluster of planets there. Didn't see much change. That's a bug. But we're getting closer here. We're 5 flight seconds away from it. Roll it back around here. Yeah, that's a bug, actually. You should be able to see the light from those planets moving. Yep, they put in gravitational lensing, though. Something off there. Yeah, let's get closer. In Elite, you don't have to be worried about hitting a black hole. Actually, nothing really happens. Which I will demonstrate here by, again, nose booping a black hole with a anaconda. Why in the heck is Waterworld's brown? I don't know. You discovered the planet East River? I mean, it's just water. There's no... Well, it's not just water. There's various, whatever chemicals you get in the water on that planet, too. I mean, you gotta remember, a swamp is primarily water. But it ain't blue. Alright, here we are on approach. 2 megameters. One megameter. $30 kilometers. Just make sure it isn't a balloon. And we've hit the body exclusion zone. Actually, this is as close as we can get to the black hole. Now, the frameshift drive or whatever, the game engine, it's saying, nope, you can't get any closer. You are physically prevented from getting any closer. So we just point away and charge up the drives. I'm going to actually turn off the drive there because we were getting a little warm. Recharge for Super Cruise, and we're lined up with the escape vector, and away we go. And as you get away from the black hole, space kind of goes wonky for a moment, a little bit of wibbly wobbly. And now we're back in normal space. Kind of. I should really try this in VR at some point. But yeah, this sector is nothing... this sector has a huge amount of uncharted, unexplored, undocumented everything. Neutron stars, black holes. Like right here, I'm going to get a neutron boost off this next jump. So I'm glad I refueled at the red dwarf further in system. Topped off the tank. System map.
System cartography.
Yeah, again, totally undocumented. You get first discovery credit on this. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Avoid the yellow line of gravitational doom and hop into the vortex.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Throttle up to get clear. Hit the button and away we go. So Spawn, the last number I saw was that 1% of the galaxy, they will have completed exploring 1% of the galaxy by Christmas of
We are being hailed.
2550, I think. At the moment, I think it is 0.00025% of the galaxy has been explored. 5,000 light seconds, that's it to a neutron star. Well then. Yeah, it was either something like 550 years or 250 years, and I know that's quite a factor, but it's still a little bit longer than, you know, Elite's going to be around. And also, here's an interesting thing. Even with neutron stars, you get gravitational lensing. Like, looking right ahead here, this neutron star is actually distorting the background just a little bit. Just not nearly as much as a black hole. As far as I know, no, there is not. But I think they're going to be fixing that with one of the 2018 updates. It's called the Codex. And it should be a listing of all of your discoveries, all your first discoveries. Generally, as far as I know, it is basically like the great big logbook of discovery. And it will also include things like, you know, here's what materials are here, here's where you want to go if you want massive amounts of jumponium. But no, neutron stars also do gravitational lensing, gravitational distortion. It's just that they're so much, by comparison, less dense than a black hole, you don't usually see it. I think it will. I think it will say, like, you know, here's where we found first signs of Thargoid bases. Or here's the first place we found the barnacles. There's already some interesting lore on the galaxy map in various worlds. Oh, just found your first neutron star discovery. Excellent. Congratulations. So let's see how fast this thing is spinning. We should be able to start seeing the jets at around 300 light seconds. Active as hell? So somewhere around here a few months ago, me and Commander Heaven's Run found binary neutron stars. And if you zoomed away and then turned back and looked at it against the disk, the gravitational distortion looked like a peanut. There we go, we're starting to see jets at about 175. We are aligned right onto them. The jets aren't too active. They're a little... You can still make them out, so it's not like millisecond band spinning here. Well, a little bit more active than your average one, but... Still not getting a scan on it yet. There we go. About 4.7 light seconds, then you start getting data off of it.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive
Boost activated.
Alright, drive charged, throttle up, get clear of this vortex. This one is actually a little hard to get clear of. I'm giving it full rudder, and there we go. It's finally kicking me loose a little bit.
frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Interesting how they want to make the lighting better when it's already quite stunning. It's true, but there's a few places for improvement, like with planetary lighting, and with, well, what I was seeing here, like, it was actually distorting the background stars, but it wasn't distorting the light from planets in system, planets and stars. "95 light year jump," just a little hop, skip, and a jump. I'm gonna try to move down into the denser material. That, and I don't want to be scanning everything in this region, so I'm gonna take a detour to a slightly different sector. That way, when Niao shows up here, she's got a lot of pristine stuff that she can get scans and first discovery on. I mean, assuming nobody else comes out here first, but it's a hell of a trip out here. System map. 23 new objects. What have we got here? Oh ho! 180,000 light seconds. I don't want to do that. Doubt it's terraformable. Galaxy map.
Galaxy map.
Alright, let's go into the... Okay, it's got carbon stars and Wolf-Rayets. Go for non-sequence. Here, what are you? You are a black hole. Okay. All the black holes are showing up as gray. So what I'm looking for are the really, like, the post-main sequence stars. Wolf-Rayets are like O-class stars that have ceased to become stars and have more in common with, say, a hydrogen-powered time bomb. They're in the last throes of their sequence, and they're in the stage where the needle is wavering somewhere between star and kaboom. Another black hole. Oh, what the hell. 360 light years. With a neutron boost. So yeah, we're actually getting down into the region now where even if you look up, the star field is just so dense. And we aren't anywhere close to the densest stars I've seen. The Griefe Stellar Forge. I think I'm pronouncing that properly. That region of space is nothing but newly ignited stars, and it is spectacular. In fact, no, I may just say screw it on this because, hell, I've already got my elite rating. Now doesn't need me tagging along, you know, kind of grabbing her discoveries.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift
Boost
drive
activated.
supercharged.
Alright. Throttled up, so what's the damage to our drives at the moment? We are running on 89% frameshift drive. So we'll have to set down, or at least drop down, for repairs relatively soon. Oh, you're kidding me. Earth-like. So we're rolling this around and firewalling the throttle. Don't worry, I'll submerge the ship and they won't see us under the ocean. Barring some kind of natural disaster. Get close, I'd like to see what it looks like. Will do. Hello, Yuki. Yuki is hopped up on the cat bed next to Niao's cockpit seat, which is actually, well, it's actually pretty much in between our two cockpits, so Yuki's got a little bed where she just kind of curls up and gets scritches from either one of us, depending on who's busy flying the ship and who isn't. See if I can get a, Yeah, deploying the repair bots in orbit, that's a good idea. I like the way you think. Okay, so let me pull up a picture here. Okay, that was still in construction. Here we go. Here's at least a shot of Yuki where she's... Good thing this game has a lot of autopilot moments, yeah. And if things go sideways, you'll have a nice second Earth to live out your days on. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. I've got repair limpets, I've got an auto repair unit. Something would have to go very, very sideways. iMage, no, Niao does not have a stream. She just kind of piggybacks on my run from time to time. So here is the a partial look at the setup with Spaceship Cat included. Hit the fan here for a moment. Well, it doesn't sound like it was heard anyway, but... yes, Vox, it is. I got my hands on a notepad per your recommendation. We just haven't hung up a lot of the other stuff we have framed yet. It's not really... No, I wouldn't go with projection well, also because the bulbs are still expensive and we've got enough heat generation off our machines. That, and we've got a whole bunch of boxes that Meow built a lot of mobile suit models. I did too, but my hands kind of went bad a while back and I haven't been able to get back into building them. They're still recovering. But what we've done is we're taking the boxes and we're cutting off the box art, the top of the boxes, and we're framing them, and we're going to be hanging them on the wall as, you know, here's the mobile suits we put together, along with the actual models in the display case. She got her hands on the pearlescent Wing Zero custom from Endless Waltz. Oh yeah, the mobile suit in the Ready Player One film. Yeah, the old... oh, that one's granddaddy. That one's the RX-78. I've got a few I've still got to put together. The one I am really, really looking forward to building is the Hainu Gundam with all the effects on it. I just don't have the hands for it yet, and I don't have the space for it yet. She's put together. She's got a very nice Kshatriya that she assembled last year. And she's getting together a brand new oh, what's it? RX-78 NT1, the Alex from 0080. Oh hey, yeah, that's another Christmas movie that I want no part of. Interested in a pilgrimage to the full-size cockpit mock-up in Japan? Oh, there are a lot of things I would like to go see in the world, and that's one of them. But it's not on the list yet. Yeah, that's a full-size. Is that a Gundam cockpit or is that a Valkyrie from Macross? Because I know they've also got the full-sized Unicorn Gundam they're assembling in Japan. They had the 78 up for a few years, and then they took it down. They took it down to make room for Char's Zaku and the Unicorn. That's true, they do have a lot of mock-ups in Japan. Although it's only now started to, you know, really, really kick into high gear. So for those joining in, yes, I'm flying 40-some thousand light seconds, but I have a very good reason. I was checking out the system scan on this place after I honked the foghorn of discovery, and I gave a listen, and I found an Earth-like over here around the Beta Star. Yeah, we're going to be taking down, kind of cutting up the boxes and framing the art on that because it worked so well for my 40K box sets. The Battle of McCraig and the Assault on Blackreach. Looks really good. You know, framed them up on a nice, you know, tasteful, just plain frame. And I had some commissioned Transformers art that I did. I've got a nice shot of Galvatron and lovely shot of Devastator and Omega Supreme going at it. Apollo's Rockets. Sadly, I missed your stream on Sunday. I'm glad I could catch it today. How's New Year? New Year was a mixed bag. The stream was going well right up until I hit about hour 7, and my voice reminded me, "Hey, you've only done 2-3 hour streams before. Now you're trying to do a marathon up to midnight?" No. So things started giving out around 7, made it to the 8-hour mark, and by then I was sounding like Christopher Nolan's Batman. Where are the drugs? So, yeah, we had to call it there. Made it to about 8 p.m. instead of midnight. Oh, well. After that, just kind of... It was a quiet New Year's around here. That's not bad. Just decided not to go out to the bars. Had plenty of alcohol here, though. That's another thing. I didn't drink and fly too terribly much. Might have been good for the comedy on screen. But no, mostly good. Mostly good. The occasional, you know, New Year's Eve hiccups that, like, of course that happened. Yeah, quiet, boom, bang, explosion. Yeah, there was the usual, you know, the usual midnight fireworks and the usual 10 a.m. to midnight, or 10 p.m. to midnight fireworks. Then the big show. And then around 1:30 a.m., kaboom! And it was enough that it rattled windows and shook the door frame, or shook the door in its frame, and then heard a bunch of car alarms get set off, and then the cops came by. The cops seemed very interested in the source of that kaboom. And as my dad is still, you know, 1,800 miles away or so in Iowa, I had nothing to say because I don't know who else could have generated such a kaboom. Yeah, my dad's house too. Over the 4th of July, Dad always gets into a competition with the neighbors over who has the biggest explosion and the biggest fireworks display, and in Iowa, most fireworks are banned. You can only have sparklers or firecrackers, as far as I know. And snakes, but those are just like... But Dad always seems to lay hands on a box of fireworks from a friend in South Dakota who only says they fell off the back of a truck. Those who stayed for the entire stream should get a meritorious medal in the errantry wing. I'll get right on that, and I'm being serious, actually. I think that'd be pretty good. No. God, no. Would have gassed half the state. No, just fireworks. That kind of sulfur. Last time I was down there, it would have been 4th of July, 2013. And yeah, here's Dad with a few shots of liquid courage in him, trying to read the label on a box of fireworks by the light of a cigarette lighter that he's holding right up to it. Orion, you and I have very, very many things in common. Yeah, for my high school graduation, Dad pulled out a cannon. It's something that he, again, knew a guy who knew a guy, made it for him. Like 50 pounds, turned it on the lathe, made a little gun carriage for it. But yeah, he would set this off at my high school graduation party, and everybody's like, "Ooh," and Mom is like, "Don't you dare do that again." Well, what she said was, "Don't you dare fire that cannon again." What he heard was, "Don't you dare use that powder load again." And so he didn't. He went up. And by the third shot, he'd gotten a little too loaded, and the cannon ended up a little too loaded, and in ballistics terms, let's just say breach velocity exceeded muzzle velocity when he fired it off. And here we are, one Earth-like world made to order. No eyebrows were lost since it was down at ankle level, but there was a great big explosion, a kind of metallic ting, and you ended up with the back end of the cannon actually ricocheting off the side of the house, and then digging a small hole in the gravel driveway as it kind of spun to a stop. Alright, and as I said, we're down to 89% on the drives. Turn off the thrusters, pull up this AFMU. And get around to repairing. Screenshot.
Taking photo.
Yeah, she's a little worse for wear. A few scratches on the paint on the leading edges. Little Bondo, a little bit of buffing, a little bit of polish, good as new. Drive is back to good.
Thrusters online.
That would be nice, being able to pilot the Conda from the underbridge. Or at least be able to go below decks and just stand there and watch. Oh, that would be nice. System map.
System cartography.
So somehow, you ended up with an Earth-like world in a system that managed to survive the supernova explosion that generated this neutron star. Age is 3.1 billion years old. This one is also 3.1 billion years old, so this one wasn't a captured star. This one is the same age as this one. You must have had like a OB or an A-class star here that went kaboom. And it was still far enough away that it didn't too terribly adversely affect the rest of this system. That's a very good question, IMage. Where's the rest of the boom? Maybe a good chunk of it got absorbed by the G-class. I don't know. Resume course?
System destination locked.
You know, actually, we're going to go to this G-class real quick and top off the tank. That's also true. Maybe out by its Oort cloud, but you'd still think, I mean, there'd be some kind of... Well, I guess you don't necessarily need a planetary nebula for everything. And by the way, seeing that neutron star in the distance, you can, again, see the gravitational distortion even out here at 100-some thousand light seconds. Well, let's see here. If it's a fairly good-sized star, it may have exploded in the first few 100 million years of life. And at 3.1 billion years old, yeah, it could have just dissipated by now. Just out into the interstellar winds. But no, for those who haven't heard the tale, and apparently there's a few people who haven't, over the 4th of July in 2013, Dad managed to create a three-way crossfire out of an accidental fireworks launcher in one direction. He had this massive Roman candle multi-fire rocket. Looks like it should have been slung under the wing of a Warthog or a Apache gunship. And he set it up against the woven wire fence and lit it off and ran like hell, or at least, you know, staggered with purpose, because he'd had a few by this point. Lit off the fuse. Well, we're sitting down. My folks' house is technically a 2-story house, but you only see the 2nd story from the back. And they've got a retaining wall set up to keep dirt from going into the driveway in the garage down below. So we are in basically a blast bunker. Yeah, pretty much, Orion. We're sitting in what is basically a blast bunker. Except the blast is brought in. So something... maybe a cow, maybe something else, rubs up against said woven wire fence, and the fence goes sproing, and the entire launcher goes thump, and is now aimed at all of us. At which point, somebody who'd gone in to use the bathroom comes back out and says, "Hey, what'd I miss?" Right about the time I scream, "Take cover," and get down, and then all hell breaks loose. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
So you've got these rockets bouncing off of the retaining wall and into us, and bouncing off the house and into us, and so congratulations, Dad, you've managed to actually create an overlapping field of fire from only one direction. Of course, everybody's diving for cover, everybody's screaming, everybody's, well, either screaming or laughing depending on how much they've had to drink. The smoke clears, and there's my 80-something-year-old grandfather who hasn't moved 1 inch, sitting right in the middle of the approximate kill box. Stone deaf. Just kind of looking around going, that was fun. Or that was exciting, you know, something like that. I forget what he said, but God rest his soul, if he couldn't escape, then by damn he was going to enjoy the show from literal ground zero. And again, stellar density is up quite a bit, but nowhere near what it could be. System map. 83 new objects. Huh. Well, what do we got here? Got a little bit of everything here is what we got. That is the smallest gas giant I've ever seen, and I imagine it has life on it, but it's also 500,000 light seconds away, so if somebody else wants to find out, be my guest. Water world. High metal content, rocks. Well, let's grab this water world just because.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
Well, you're on the way. Let's get a scan anyway. Or not, you're just a ball of ice. Okay, so we're looking for this. There. Back to dashboard so I can see. Go into the galaxy map, and we are looking for... How far away are we? And realistic mode. Aha. 4,700 light years, but that's alright. Also need to head back to, well, need to head towards Colonia. Yep, we found a Costner. Okay, what do we got on the stats here? 1.34 G, 354 Kelvin, so almost habitable right there. Atmosphere, 72.1% ammonia. Alright, it's water and ammonia. Congratulations, we found planet Windex. We found the gateway to the elemental plane of glass cleaners. There we go, the EL Pro sector. 9,000 light years. Actually, not too bad. Beautiful nebula on the way, too. Actually, I should go check EDSM and see what I need to hit for certain tourist locations. Do that right now. Check my badges. While that's still plotting away. Let's see here. W. Ursae Majoris. I've actually never been to. Where's that at? That's right there, in the middle of the bubble. Okay, next time I'm in the bubble, I'll just zip past there. All your windows are belong to us. Yeah, I've got a few of those up. Alright, let's get on going. This will also drop us down into the galactic disk, so stellar density should be pretty high. Especially because we're going to be kind of skimming along the near 3 kiloparsec arm. System map.
System map.
Now, what are we... Huh. Not sure I want to go that far for that. Not sure I want to go that far for any of this. Resume course?
Selecting next destination.
I haven't played it, but I have looked through it. I mean, the core book alone is just interesting for the data it's got. Oh, hit that one a little too fast, got kicked out of the jet, so let's try that again.
Boost activated.
But no, just the fluff data, the fluff information in there is really fascinating to me. There's a lot of stuff in there that I really hope makes it into the computer game. Next stop, Neutron Star. We're going to be eating up the miles at this rate. System map.
System cartography.
No way. Water world.
Boost activated.
So this is one of those worlds that I was talking about. This is one of those really strange planets that you would end up with in a neutron star system. There's no other companion star, there's no B star, there's no brown dwarfs or anything, or, you know, alternate planets in this system. This is just a water world in orbit around a neutron star. At, let's see, what'd they say, 1800? So roughly 3.5 AU from the star. So let's say what, a little bit somewhere in between Mars and Jupiter orbit. Oh no, you don't turn off all stars for the black holes. You go into realistic view. You turn them all on. Show you here. You turn them all on, and then you can... Crap. And then if you shine them up against the galactic backdrop there, like here you can see a big cluster of black holes all in this area right here. Okay, why is my mouse doing that? Okay. Yeah, I'm in realistic view here. Black hole, black hole, black hole. So I thought turning off stars and just trying to search straight up for neutron stars and black holes would be the way to go. I think I have given that advice before, but I revised that in the exploration video with Commander Heavenrun's advice. No worries. Okay, getting a scan on this one, and then... Yeah, let's pull up the weirdness here. Okay, water world, system map. Candidate for terraforming, 310 Kelvin. 0.38 atmospheres, 82% nitrogen, 14% oxygen, 2.2 carbon dioxide. You just bring up the atmospheric density a little bit, introduce a little bit more CO2 or methane into the atmosphere, and you'll actually get what you're looking for here. Just bring up the heat a little bit, but I mean, don't let this fool you. This would actually not be throwing out a lot of visible light. This would be throwing out mostly in thermal. 2.75 million degrees Kelvin. Double X Stew 156, hi there. Welcome to the show again. Nice to see you again. So, yeah, you've got... This would actually be mostly I mean, you'd see maybe a faint glow, but this thing is mostly kicking out in the infrared range. So actually, this planet, this water world, would be almost in a state of perpetual night. So all the plant life would have to be either really, really deep, deep red, or almost purple or black, in order to absorb the infrared light, in order to complete whatever. I don't even know. Does photosynthesis work, or is there a different term for it when the light's infrared? And is it even chlorophyll anymore? 0.69 G. So you're also going to get some very big life here. Lower gravity, you can have much, larger life forms. Planets like this are weird, and yeah, it also survived a supernova explosion. Yeah, you get some urban light pollution due to the core, so yeah, you would get that, but this is actually the sky you would see. You wouldn't have much glare from the sun. You get this in daytime or nighttime mostly. And the only way you could really tell the difference between day or night would be with the temperature drop, as your side of the planet turned away from the star. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
234 light years away. And it's an F-class star, which means we can top off the tank. Yeah, it's a little bit off the beaten path. I will say that. It's... Yeah. Here there be dragons. System map.
System map.
Are you kidding me? Okay, it's a water world. High metal content. High metal content. High metal. High metal. High metal. Not sure. We'll get a scan on it as we go, though. And don't forget to fill the tank.
Fuel scoping.
Yeah, it looks alike. I mean, I don't know what that third planet is. It's one of those sounds I'm not quite familiar with. It doesn't sound like a... Well, it could be a variant on a high metal content, just with atmosphere. Could be a terraformable HMC, actually. Nice thing about a starship and scanners, we get to go and find out. And then we get to go Star Trekking past because I was not paying attention to my throttle settings. We'll see if we can't use the gravity brake here. Oh, never mind, we got it. High metal content. System map.
System cartography.
Thank you so much, high-speed scanners. Let's see here. Not terraformable. 2.14 atmospheres. You could terraform it if you really put the effort in, but... Now you... Let's see what this water world pulls up. Alex, I didn't say to go to the next system yet. Three-quarter impulse.
Three-quarter impulse.
Proper approach speed. Alright, taking over the throttle, and let's go have a look up close. Usually you can tell the difference between an Earth-like and a water world. The Earth-like actually has a little bit more greenish tinge to the water. Wolf-Rayet stars are basically O-class stars that are... I mentioned this earlier, but yeah, they're kind of O-class stars where the needle has stopped going towards star and is rapidly approaching kaboom. They're stars, they're large stars, massive stars on the final stage of the sequence. Where they're getting down into fusing just getting around into fusing iron. Well, you can't fuse iron, so the elements just below that on the periodic table. The moment a star starts trying to fuse iron, that's when your moments, I think, away, well, on stellar terms or relative terms, close to collapse, because iron takes more energy to fuse than it gives back. So you start fusing iron and then it just, the whole thing collapses down and you get an explosion. Okay, what was I looking for? I was going to look up the specs on this planet. Surface pressure, 0.93 atmospheres. Iron magma, a little bit hotter than Earth in the core there. 1.54 G, 55% water, or, yeah, 55% nitrogen, 22% water, 22% oxygen. That's not bad. That's a very good candidate for living. If I remember correctly, the last few elements burn out in a matter of weeks or days. Yeah. Yeah, when you get to iron, though, it's more like a question of hours. Let's see here. Do I have any? I don't have any Wolf-Rayets marked out. Well, you might. Hopefully. A lot of black holes around here. Let's see if there's any Wolf-Rayets. Hey, we may be onto something here. Class O star. Well, not quite what I was looking for. I can hear sounds in my... The funny thing is, I can hear sounds on the galaxy map as I'm kind of panning around with just Wolf-Rayet set up. And I'm wondering if that means something. And yeah, at iron, it's done. Then you stop having a star, and what you have is a hydrogen-based, or a fusion-based bomb. Fusion-based time bomb. I would love to know if these little sounds, these little beeps and clicks actually mean something. Hey, there we are. Dryu-Skra AA-A-H17, a Wolf-Rayet. Let's go have a look. I knew there was one around there. Then again, here in the core regions, or near the core regions, all it takes is a little bit of panning around on the map and you can find just about anything, I'm sure. So we were 700 light years away from that Wolf-Rayet. And now we're probably about 500 light years away. System map.
System map.
A lot of hydrogen, not a whole lot of life. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Yeah, we're actually only 4 jumps away from the thing.
Operating beyond safety limits.
Boost activated.
Supercharged.
Next stop, another neutron star. Getting to Colonia is going to be easy. 73... Well... From the last position where I was heading for Colonia, it was only 73 light years, or 73 jumps to go over 9,000 light years. There is a lot of neutron boosting that you can get in the mid-core regions here. System map.
System map.
Well then, okay, we got binary neutron stars and a white dwarf star, I think. Yeah. And what could be an ammonia world. Possibly. That or it's just simple high metal content. Only 2,000 light seconds away though, so let's get our jump drive boosted and then we'll go have a look at it.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Okay, diverting real quick to get a scan off of this guy. 2,000 light seconds, hell. I've seen stations further out than that that I regularly use. You know if you can get repaired at Gru Haipue? Gagarin Gate, yes. Gagarin Gate does have repair facilities. As far as I know, let me double check on EDDB. Jump to station. Gagarin Gate and facilities, market, restock, refuel, and repair. Yep, you can get all your hurts patched up there. In fact, I may have gone to Gagarin Gate on my own one time. No, I directed, no, wait. All these stations kind of blur together. Commander Heaven's Run was running awfully ragged, something like 8% hull. Out here near the, well, not near the core, but 10,000 light years out from the bubble. I was able to redirect them out to somewhere in the Eagle Nebula. Might have been like Eagle's Nest or something. Which, unfortunately, that is my biggest disappointment of Elite Dangerous. And I don't say this lightly, but this is my biggest disappointment. That the Eagle Nebula looks nothing like what we've seen of the Hubble pictures. Okay, it's just standard high metal content. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
The Eagle Nebula is... yeah, it's nothing like... The pillars of creation are gone. Now, I know they were saying in real life it was possible that a supernova blew it away. But... still, somewhat disappointing. I mean, there's suspension of disbelief, and then there's... I can see why they did it, but... still. That was like one of the iconic pictures of space travel. Well, I won't say that. Of space exploration. For the 90s, that was the big, amazing wow shot. Hubble had just gotten up into orbit and just gotten fixed.
Fuel scooping complete.
They'd just given it that new pair of eyeglasses, and the first, some of the first images back were the Eagle Nebula, and it just wowed everybody. Okay, 2 jumps out to the Wolf-Rayet. System map.
System cartography.
$38,000. These are high metal content. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
139 light years. Oh, that's what neutron boosts are for.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Come on, kick it out. There we go. And modules. We have 96% on the drive, we're good. System map.
System cartography.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on them. They aren't... What in the hell? I don't usually pick them up just because it's an extra ton in the cargo bay, which is going to reduce jump distance, and it's a drop in the bucket compared to how much money you make on exploration data anyway. Okay, Wolf-Rayet stars. Massive stars nearing the end of their life cycle and have moved out of the hydrogen burning phase. Once over 20 solar masses, but now shed considerable amounts of material through solar wind. Surface temperature can reach 200,000 Kelvin, so they appear brilliant blue. This star is a variant of the Wolf-Rayet stars whose spectrum is dominated by ionized carbon lines. Age, less than 1 million years. 45 solar masses, and this thing shed a lot of its mass already. Solar radius, 8.18 solar radii. Got a planet here, we got a star here, and we've got a class O star. Less than a million years old at 26 solar masses. So this will eventually turn into this, and then you're gonna get a great big kaboom. Galaxy map.
Displaying map.
The youngest, well, the most massive stars, the brightest ones, usually burn out the fastest. Let's see here, carbon stars, what do we got? Anything. Oh. Hey, we've got a carbon star, too. 400 some light years. 4 jumps. Definitely not going to be able to scoop fuel off of this thing. But yeah, our next stop is going to be an S-class star. All right, we're clear of the corona on that one. We are good to jump. And this is the lazy river version of a neutron star. System map.
System map.
Neutron star and a white dwarf and this thing. High metal content. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
And we're just going for jump while we're still in the jet. Not always the most recommended course of action. But we didn't blow up, so it seems to have worked out well. But no, Double X Stu, actually going back, because I realized I never actually gave the most details on it. A small survey cache is worth anything from a couple of grand to maybe 10 grand. And you can get that same amount of data just honking the horn in one system without even, without even stopping for a detailed scan. So it's a whole lot extra weight, relatively speaking, for very little gain. Now, if it were a large survey data canister, I'd be a little bit more inclined to pick it up, maybe. It depends. And if anybody else has any information on those data caches and whether or not they're better to pick up out in deep, deep space, let me know. I'll let him know. I just haven't found, even out here, I really haven't found anything too amazing on them. System map.
System map.
One planet, but nothing much. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive.
Oh, and we're getting into the really dense stuff too. Let's get away from this star and see what kind of stellar background we get, because we're still getting glare off the neutron star. Even if, even if it isn't throwing out a lot of visible light, it's still throwing out enough. Actually, that's still all pointed away from the core. Here's where density really goes up. And you can visit each and every one of those. Not that we're going to. It's just one of those humbling things, both from terms of the real world, because there are that many stars, if not more. Well, and also from a programming standpoint, like, holy crap, you guys really outdid yourselves. Alright, and this thing kind of phased in instead of jumping in, so we're a good distance away from it. Yeah, we're 132 light seconds away. System map.
System cartography.
Diggin'. Totally unexplored. Okay, S-class stars. Late sequence stars that were once M-class and have begun the cycle towards becoming a carbon star. A star nearing the end of its stellar life. This is 1.1 solar masses, but 31.3 solar radii. High metal content. High metal content. Not going to be able to scoop anything off this thing, but that's alright. Got enough in the tank. $7,400 light years. And, yeah, given our drive and given all the neutron stars between here and there, we're going to be eating up that distance real quick, like. As soon as the Navicomp finishes chewing on it and giving me a solution. Need your FSD mods. Tired just 33 light years. What are you running for a ship? Are you running a Conda? Because for whatever reason, whatever the Anaconda hull is made out of, some kind of miraculous anti-gravity metal with a negative mass, Condas are about the only thing that can pull off these ranges. Aspects. I've gotten aspects. The most I've been able to pull out of that one is something like 54 light years. And that's if I strip it down naked. But yeah, otherwise just, well, it's almost sounded like it flatlined. Almost. But the secret is it's not just the FSD mods. Conversely, almost counterintuitively, a heavier ship can actually get a lot more out of some of the range mods, because I'm not just boosting the jump drive range, I am chopping the weight on the life support and sensor systems. System map.
System cartography.
The life support and sensors on a Asp Explorer just aren't that heavy to begin with. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Come on, bring it around here. There we go. Now, let me pull up the data here on my modules, because the sensors... Alright, well, it's not showing the tonnage, but I've got grade 4 lightweight on these, which moves the sensor weight from something like 64 tons down to something like 12 or 18. So right there, there is a massive amount of weight saving. You know, a much proportionally higher amount of saved weight there versus the power of the drive. That, and it wasn't exactly a god tier roll. I'm not up to the maximum amount of jump drive you can get out of an Anaconda drive. But what I did get to compensate was my drive actually uses up more fuel than is normally allowed. I've got something like I can use up 12% more fuel. System map.
System map.
Instead of like having a 5-ton maximum, I can have something like 5.48 or something.
Fuel scooping complete.
Which converts into a lot more distance. Just pulling away from the star, and the star field is already this crowded. We are definitely dipping down into the galactic plane proper here. In fact, early on, before Frontier got things sorted out, on the first Distant Worlds expedition, this was a major issue, and Meow ran into this all the time. Navicomp calculations took forever. Almost literally forever. She could go up, she could start calculating a jump, and she could get up and, you know, take a shower and grab something to eat and come back, and the computer would still be chugging away at it. And so there was this really complicated set of calculations you had to run by hand in order to figure out... I'm sorry, what? Earth-like. Waterworld. Right then, let's go get this drive supercharged and then go get that Earth-like. But Frontier has made a lot of back-end fixes. So it only takes a couple of minutes to get a really complicated jump charged. When the streamer is suddenly speechless. Yeah, sometimes it takes a bit. And only 33,000 light seconds away, that ain't bad. Actually, here's a good place to do a comparison. System map.
System cartography.
Now, to me, I can actually see a little bit of a difference here in between the water world and the Earth-like. The one I've got targeted, that's the Earth-like. This one's the water world. And the water world is a little bit bluer. The Earth-like has just a little bit more hint of green in it. But also, yeah, if you get in close, if you zoom in, and if you turn up your headset settings, if you rank your headphones, you can actually hear bird calls. Spawn, you're not wrong. Yeah, 8 hours of streaming did make me speechless. I don't have an uptime command, but, no, right now we've been going at it for just under 3 hours. And I'm probably going to call off the stream around the 3-hour mark, or, you know, after we get these guys scanned. Either or. I should really see about putting in some kind of bot. No, New Year's Eve I was running, I ran for just a hair over 8 hours. I wanted to go for 12, but I forgot you kind of need practice to go up from there a little bit, so I've been used to talking for 2-3 hours at a time. Well, trying to go for 12? No. Yeah, my voice gave up and just said, nope, now you're going to sound like Nolan's Batman for a while. And then your cats are going to fight. And then your toilet is going to back up. And New Year's Eve was just one of those... It wasn't even our apartment, thank goodness. Well, kind of thank goodness. Anyway, things were fixed, and that's all I will leave it at. Murphy was in charge of New Year's Eve 2017. Just like he was in charge of the whole rest of the year, too. But, hey, 2017 is dead and gone. Thanks for the help. I'm off to bed. See you later. Take care, Stu. And, yeah, glad to help. I'll probably be taking off myself here in a little bit. Gotta actually do some real-world stuff. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Which reminds me, I need to bake up some grumble cakes. They're very bitter. So I just reached down to reach for one of the circuit breakers at my seat, and instead, coleslaw, I have heard of it. A bit of dressing on there, you know. No, it's more Caesar salad. Anyway, I'm reaching down for one of the breakers by at the base of my seat, and instead I find this big fluffy mass of... And I pet Hank, and he goes, thud. He'd been sitting up, and instead I scritch him, and that apparently means in kitty language, oh, I should give him all of the access. And he actually made an audible thud when he rolled over to show his tummy. I swear, he's half Muppet and he's half bowling ball. Yep, massive floof fall over. And for those unfamiliar with him, here is a Hank. Alright, let's get this water world scan, or no, the Earth-like. Go for the Earth-like, then we'll get the water world. And then I will show the Muppet bowling ball. There he is. My cats make that sound too, and when I... Aw. Kinda weirded me out since my old cat never made that sound. Cats are highly variable creatures. And yeah, here I had to do some adjustment on the levels, but this is one of my first shots of Hank when we got him a couple of years back. And yes, he is a Muppet bowling ball. That's where I get the term from. Okay, next up the water world, but first let's see what the specs are on this one. Outdoor world, human breathable atmosphere and indigenous life. Let's see here. 0.34 earth masses, 0.73 gravity, 288 Kelvin, 0.53 atmospheres. So you're gonna want some kind of oxygen pack at least. 60% nitrogen, 40% oxygen. Okay, maybe the oxygen concentration will be good enough you wouldn't need a pack. You'd still need a parka though. Now I have the Muppet theme in my head. Yep, it's a Hank. Alright, well, I said either the 3-hour mark or after we get these scanned, and it looks like both. We're about at 2:58 on the uptime, so we'll get a scan here, and then, yeah, start thinking about taking off and planning the next move out. So no stream tomorrow. It's Wednesday. More, full day of errands and taking care of things, and hopefully putting out a video of some kind. I just have no idea what. I'm sure I'll figure something out. Also wondering, galaxy map, where's the third wave? We had 2 weeks straight of stations being attacked. Galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
2 weeks straight of space stations being attacked, and now nothing. Where are the Thargoids, and what's going on? What are they planning? I would have thought there would have been a third wave of 4 stations, or a third wave of 3 stations, and a fourth wave just hitting Maya, but I don't know. They were steadily advancing, and now they're not there, and it's quiet. It's too quiet. Okay, terrestrial water world, candidate for terraforming. Speaking of water, I should get a little bit more of that. Let's see here, 0.92 atmospheres, 255 Kelvin, 0.75 G. This is not actually bad. In fact, let's see here, 288. No, it's a little bit colder than the Earth-like, but you could turn this into an Earth-like real easy, to be honest. Not bad. This is a good system to end on. This is a good high note. So, until Thursday, I'm Mr. Moo. Take care, everybody. Always nice to chat with new people. Always nice to talk. Always nice to answer questions and just kind of go zooming around and seeing what we can see. Fly safe. If you can't fly safe, fly dangerous. If you can't fly safe or fly dangerous, remember, any car can be a flying car as long as you're brave enough. And yeah, everybody else, you have a nice day, a nice evening, nice morning, wherever you are. Take care, have a good day. I will see you again on Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. Take care, everybody.